A foggy start for parts of the area. This afternoon, we could see showers and storms. We have a WRAL weather alert day. I'll show you when storms are most likely.
Bracing for the next hit. People in Edgecombe County are cleaning up after 3 tornadoes in 2 days. How they're preparing for another possible round of severe weather today.
Reopening for business. An hour from now, Big Ed's restaurant in Raleigh will open its doors again. It's planned to welcome customers back 3 days after a shooting there on Mother's Day. 6 o'clock straight up the time on your Wednesday. Wondering if we're going to turn the corner here. Why not? This is a good enough day to do it as we reach hump day. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Turning the corner in the sense that we have a beautiful sunrise to start. Look at this sandwich sunrise here as we take a live look at the tower cam. That's above the clouds, but we have some low cloud cover and foggy conditions on the ground. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner takes a look at our foggy morning.
This is a look at just below the clouds here in Durham, and you can see the clouds are obscuring the buildings somewhat as we take a look from American Tobacco across the lawn in front of the DPAC. We have the potential for areas of fog across the viewing area until around 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. This is a special weather statement from the National Weather Service. It does include most of the viewing area. Dual Doppler 5000 radar showing a sprinkle or two in some of our western counties. They're in Chatham County and sort of approaching parts of Orange County. But rain this morning is not going to be anything that's going to be very impactful. Later this afternoon, we'll have a good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms from 2 to 10. Wind damage would be the biggest threat. Few power outages are possible if we see some trees down, and then quarter-sized hail, and it is for our entire viewing area at that level 1 risk. Let's walk through it. Lots of cloud cover out there this morning, but some breaks in the clouds in a few spots. We'll see a sprinkle or two this morning, but by 3 o'clock, showers and storms develop. Some of that rain may be heavy at times. Some isolated flooding is possible, and of course that chance for wind damage and some hail. Here's a look at downtown Raleigh from the Legislative Building. Looking beyond, it's very foggy. 66 degrees is our current temperature. And we'll see a high of 82. I'll show you what changes with the weather pattern to really heat things up for us starting tomorrow. Coming up, Ken.
6:01, Elizabeth, and at live traffic map, the yellow indicates the fog that's blanketing the triangle and surrounding communities. We have a couple of crashes to report this morning. This one is on Capitol Boulevard in the southbound name Millbrook Road. It's right near Mini City. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but you might want to see some police activity in that area. This is a minor crash on Gorman Street and near I-40. Just thought you should know about it just in case you're heading out. Here's a look at that fog that we're talking about this morning. So give yourself some extra time as you get ready to head out this morning. If you head into the car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Elizabeth just told us about the severe risk on this WRAL weather alert day. It comes as people in Edgecombe County are cleaning up after 3 confirmed tornadoes there in the last 2 days. WRAL's Laura Levine is in Pine Tops this morning. And Laura, you were there 24 hours ago, right after the second and third of those tornadoes. What are things looking like there now?
Renee, this morning here in this small town of Pine Tops, the roads are empty. It's very quiet here because many people are sleeping in as it's been a whirlwind of 24 hours in this community. Taking a look at this home that was significantly damaged on Gay Street. Check it out. You can now see tarp covering parts of the roof here. We know that this family, specifically the Brooks family, well, they have a long road ahead of them. I want you to take a look at where crews were really picking up the debris yesterday afternoon, getting a better scope of the damage from the tornado. Between Monday and yesterday morning, Edgecombe County saw 3 different EF1s, according to the National Weather Service in Raleigh. And with more storms on the way, there's concerns about the already saturated ground coupled with high winds and rain, which could bring down more trees, causing additional damage. Savannah Brooks tells us that she's thankful no one was hurt, but unsure of when her family will find a sense of normalcy and stability again.
Grateful and a little like, what are we going to do?
What are you going to do?
I have no idea. The Red Cross is, I guess, supposed to be in contact with us, so hopefully they can help us.
Yeah, so we know crews were out here yesterday, emergency responders, as well as some town officials kind of assessing the damage and working with some of the families impacted. Meanwhile, today, we're also going to continue following that system moving in that's going to come and really hit Edgecombe County later this afternoon and evening. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Edgecombe County.
Storms made driving conditions tricky for the evening commute. Video from the WRAL storm tracker yesterday shows how heavy the rain was in Chatham County. In Nash County, a viewer captured video of hail coming down. It wasn't all bad, though. Check out this beautiful rainbow that showed up when the storms cleared.
Police say a man is critically injured after a shooting in Raleigh. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows the scene on Collinton Road around 8:30 last night. Officers found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital. As of this morning, no one has been arrested in this case. In just a little under an hour, 7 a.m., a popular Raleigh restaurant reopens 3 days after a Mother's Day shooting there. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is outside Big Ed's restaurant on Falls of Noose Road. And Kelsey, one of the 3 people charged in that shooting will be in court today.
Yes, Jeff, Big Ed's will be back in business within the next hour or so here. We've already seen a few employees walk inside. They're opening their doors again just 3 days after chaos broke out at the restaurant. Watch this. This cell phone video shows people running out of the building after a fight broke out that led to gunshots. Adrienne Barnes is scheduled to appear in court today. She's facing simple assault and accessory charges. 2 other suspects, Alexander Barnes and Jermaine Mitchell, were in court yesterday. The assistant district attorney says Mitchell and his stepson Barnes got into a fight with Mitchell's ex-wife and her new husband. Mitchell is accused of throwing a chair. His stepson is accused of firing shots at the ground. 3 people were injured during that shooting. We'll keep you updated on what happens next in those cases. In the meantime, Big Ed's opens this morning at 7 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
The Village District Nail and Spa in Raleigh has a lot of cleaning up to do after a driver drove through the front of the building. This happened yesterday afternoon. The car was parked in front of the store, and somehow the driver drove through the spot and right into the building. A customer who was inside described the moment it happened.
I was just about to be done getting a pedicure, and we just heard this loud noise. And when we looked up, that car was just coming straight for us.
Investigators say a senior citizen was driving the car. They say she was not injured. A worker has minor injuries. The owners have not said when they will be able to reopen.
New this morning, President Donald Trump met with Syria's President Ahmad al-Shara in Saudi Arabia. It's the first meeting between the nation's leaders in 25 years. Trump met with al-Shara alongside Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The meeting came after Trump said he would lift sanctions on Syria. The president said he made the decision after discussing it with bin Salman and the president of Turkey. Happening tonight, the city of Raleigh is inviting people to learn more about the future of the city's entertainment districts. It'll share a summary of the findings from the Sociable City Assessment. That study analyzed the strengths, challenges, and opportunities of the Fayetteville Street and Glenwood South districts. The event is from 6 to 8 tonight at the Chapel in Dix Park.
A new book is shedding light on the apparent mental decline Joe Biden was experiencing near the end of his presidency. The book by CNN's Jake Tapper and Axios's Alex Thompson describes situations where Biden seemed confused or disoriented. One example details Biden's inability to recognize actor George Clooney during a fundraiser hosted by the actor in June 2024. The fundraiser was less than 2 weeks before Biden's debate with Donald Trump. A month after the fundraiser, Clooney wrote an op-ed calling for Biden to withdraw from the presidential race.
Today, home care leaders and organizations will gather in Raleigh to talk about the growing need for home-based care. More than 150 patients, people with disabilities, family caregivers, and healthcare professionals plan to meet at the legislative building and talk with lawmakers there about the need for more money to better support North Carolinians. They'll be meeting at 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, I have to show you a really cool moment in the WRAL Live Center. Earlier this morning at 5 a.m., I don't know if you caught this, but look at this. A shooting star or a meteor went right over Jeff and Renee's shoulders there. This is downtown Cary Park. This happened right at the top of our 5 o'clock newscast. But check that out. How cool is that? I spoke to meteorologist Chris Michaels about this. He came into the newsroom and he said, I've never seen this. Like in 12 years that I've been doing this, I have never seen this happen live on TV. So how about that? And I hear you're supposed to make a wish when you see a shooting star. So make a wish.
All right, got to make a wish. And Jeff, we got to look behind next time so we can see it. Michelle, thank you. Covering Wake County tonight, you can give your input on how you want county leaders to invest in parks, greenways, and recreation spaces. The county is putting together a 10-year plan to invest in parks and rec projects. They want to hear from you on what kinds of things you'd like to see. A meeting is happening from 4:30 to 6:30 today. That will be at the New Hill Community Center.
Just about 10 after 6 now. Child services in question.
What kind of staffing crisis are they in? That is the first place my thought goes to.
The issues in Vance County that the State Department of Health and Human Services says has led to children being harmed.
Falling behind. Many people in North Carolina are struggling to pay off their credit cards. In our next half hour, 5 on Your Side digs into what's driving the growing problem.
And it's a WRAL weather alert day. We have more chances for rain, mainly this afternoon and evening. I'll walk you through the timeline on Futurecast and show you the biggest threats.
Winning Mega
Stay
Millions
safe with the
numbers.
latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, starting with dual Doppler 5000 radar. A couple of light showers here across parts of Chatham County. We do have a nice deck of low clouds out there, and that may be spitting out just a little light rain or some drizzle and fog. Today is a WRAL weather alert day. This afternoon and evening, we'll end up with another round of showers and thunderstorms. A pattern very similar to what we saw yesterday. We had some sunshine on and off, and then the storms developed. We'll see the same thing again today. It includes most of the viewing area. Wind damage will be our biggest threat, but we saw some hail yesterday. We could see that again today as well. Again, our level 1 risk for severe storms covers the entire viewing area. A sprinkle or two this morning. We're going to see the low cloud cover and fog dissipating, and then we'll see that chance for thunderstorms developing. A 70% chance this afternoon. Our highs today in the low 80s. We'll talk about when we jump into the 90s again. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening right now. You mentioned it. We've been talking about it all morning. The foggy conditions that you're going to experience as you head out. This is I-540 and US 70 this morning. You can barely make out the lights coming toward us. We do have one crash to report. This is Gorman Street, right near I-40, but nothing really that's going to make you late. You're getting ready to head out the door. 3 things you need to know. Foggy conditions, which will limit your visibility, so get an earlier than usual start. And coming up in a few minutes, Jeff, we look at some of the major routes in the Bull City.
All right, speed and space. That's what you always say. I know it. Thanks, Ken. A child welfare services division in our area is being taken over by the state. In a letter, the Department of Health and Human Services says poor management and oversight within Vance County's Department of Social Services has led to children being harmed. That letter describes the lengths the state took to support Vance County's DSS, including putting the agency under a corrective action plan in July last year. The state describes significant failures since then, though, and that includes 40 existing cases identified as high risk, where no contact has been made with those families by Vance DSS staff. The co-chair of the state's Child Fatality Task Force, Karen McLeod, describes how serious it is to have the state take over.
That is significant. And as you are aware, it doesn't happen very often. So there has to be very significant deficiencies for that to take place.
McLeod says smaller counties like Vance are at a disadvantage when it comes to hiring social workers because neighboring counties pay more. DHHS's letter directs a lot of criticism at Vance DSS Director Sandy Weaver. You can get a lot more information on that letter by going to WRAL.com.
Capitol Police removed at least 25 protesters from a House committee hearing on a proposal to slash Medicaid spending. The protesters were wheeled out of the House Energy and Commerce meeting. They were protesting a Republican plan to cut $880 billion from programs over the next decade. In addition to Medicaid, it would cut from IRA funds and clean energy programs. It is part of President Donald Trump's sweeping tax and spending cuts agenda.
There are new calls for the Trump administration to reverse federal workforce cuts so an investigation into NC State's Poe Hall can continue. Democratic Congresswoman Deborah Ross wrote a letter to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying, "Your reduction in force at this essential agency has put the health and safety of my constituents and workers nationwide at risk." The Health Hazard Evaluation, or HHE, of Poe Hall that was closed could have determined the potential effects of PCBs found in Poe Hall. It would not have required NC State to take any action.
Kim Kardashian testified in Paris in the trial of the thieves accused of tying her up and robbing her. The heist happened in 2015. Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in her hotel room by a gang who stole millions of dollars in jewels. She cried as she recalled the attack, telling the court, "I absolutely thought I was going to die." Robbers got away with nearly $10 million worth of cash and jewelry. There are 10 defendants, 9 men and 1 woman. If convicted, some could get up to 30 years in prison.
May is Maternal Health Awareness Month, and data from the state DHHS shows black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. The Johnston County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta hosted a discussion to raise awareness about these disparities. They talked about how black mothers can best advocate for themselves and their families. They suggest women research their providers before giving birth and know all the options and resources available to them.
A Wisconsin judge is facing federal charges after being accused of helping an undocumented immigrant escape ICE agents. Judge Hannah Dugan was indicted on charges of obstruction and concealing an individual from arrest. According to court documents, she confronted immigration agents who came to arrest a man in her courtroom last month. Witnesses say she helped the man out through a jury door. Agents caught up with him outside and arrested him anyway.
200 people, including about 150 students, had to be rescued from this flooding at a Maryland elementary school. Those crews showed up in boats there and pulled the kids and adults out of second-story windows. A nearby creek rose more than 7 feet in a span of about 6 hours during heavy rainstorms. First responders needed to make about 15 boat trips to get everyone out safely.
A foggy start to our Wednesday morning as we take a live look from downtown Cary Park, where an hour ago we saw a shooting star coming down, but now it's hard to see anything with that fog. We are seeing glimpses of the sunrise. Here's a live look at Clinton. Looks beautiful there, but we are expecting rain later today. It is a dry start for this morning, and really the big weather threat right now, the foggy conditions, as you can see as we look live at downtown Raleigh at the General Assembly building. It's also feeling very muggy out there, and I know you're tired of the rain, but Elizabeth, more rain to come.
Yeah. All right. So we have a severe threat. It's a WRAL weather alert day for today and for tomorrow as well. You can see from the triangle area northward, we have that potential. Our WRAL weather alert day includes the potential for wind, hail, and flooding, but it's a low threat for each one. Of course, over the last 36 hours, we had 3 different tornadoes in Edgecombe County. Our tornado threat is much lower than it was over the last several days, but it's not necessarily a zero threat. It just would be unlikely for us to see one. We're dealing with foggy conditions, low clouds this morning. We're going to end up with a little bit of sunshine breaking out closer to lunchtime, very similar to yesterday. Remember, the sun came out and then we had some strong storms develop. So a repeat of that for today at 3 o'clock. You can see some of the storms popping up across our area. It's 5 o'clock, so it still could affect the evening commute. And then it begins to move out around dinner time. You can see it pushing eastward with maybe another lingering cell or two behind that. We continue this pattern. We're going to have strong upper level winds that continue moving through our area. Some heat begins to build in starting tomorrow. So that adds extra energy into the atmosphere. So this is a look at Friday at 5 o'clock, especially in our northern counties. We'll have that potential for an isolated storm. And again, Saturday, we'll pause it there at 5 o'clock. Again, a chance of a thunderstorm. Right now, Sunday looks nice and dry. It may be the only day that we have a zero risk for thunderstorms. Friday looks like a fairly low risk, but it's not necessarily a given. All right, 70% for today, 20% on Thursday, 30% chance on Saturday. And then Sunday looks nice and dry. How much rain now over the next 5 days? Anywhere from an additional ½ inch to inch of rain. And we're looking at that popping up nearly anywhere. So how about your weekend plans? We do have a small chance for thunderstorms late Saturday. Other than that, get outside, enjoy of Arts Explosion on Saturday and a lot of other events. But just keep your eye on the radar. Sunday, it looks warm, but not quite as humid. Temperatures may drop a little bit on Sunday. It's about to get even hotter. 90 on Thursday, 93 Friday, 90 degrees on Saturday, and then turning a little bit cooler for Sunday. We do have some foggy conditions out there on your way to work and school. We're going to take a look at some of the weather cameras, but Ken, I know you have some foggy cameras as well.
Yeah, absolutely do. Here's a look at US 1 and 64 in Cary Park. You can see the foggy conditions there. We can't stress enough. Get an earlier than usual start just to be on the safe side. We do have Raleigh police working a crash on Gorman Street right near I-40 East. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but as we widen out the view, you can see the yellow that indicates the fog that's blanketing our area, but we don't have any delays on any of our major routes. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Finally focused on football.
Glad people are excited, but really just focused more on the product and delivering.
Bill Belichick speaks with WRAL about how he is preparing for his first season as UNC's head coach and how he's responding to questions about what's happening off the field.
Teacher facing charges. The accusations a special ed teacher in Wake County is facing involving abusing students.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
We are getting a look at Nicolas Cage's new role as a football icon.
And Sports Illustrated's new cover model revealed. Ken Smith here now with What's Trending.
We're going to have to wait for that cover model just yet, but let's start with Nicolas Cage. Amazon MGM Studios releasing this first look of Cage as the legendary John Madden in an upcoming biopic about Madden. Next to him, that's Christian Bale playing Raiders owner Al Davis.
That is a striking image of.
It really is, isn't it?
Right? I mean, it's pretty neat. There's, I'll like this because, I know the history of it. But there's a lot of kids out there who, they know Madden only because of the video game.
Right. That's what he's famous for to them.
He's a legend. Yeah. Well, this year's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition cover model, Selma Hayek. Caliente, caliente. The big reveal happened on the Today Show. Hayek's cover issue comes out this Saturday.
Ken, I'm surprised you could talk. Selma Hayek, 58 years old, y'all. 58.
My goodness.
A smoke show. She talked about when she was approached for this photo shoot, she was terrified. She didn't know she could go through with it. She just had a lot of moments of self-doubt. Look at this.
I think she's okay.
Amazing. She looks so great.
Picked a bad year to cancel my SI subscription. Is it
You
too
and
late?
me both.
Is it too late?
Well, now you can get this issue and read the articles, Jeff.
Yeah, of
You can
course.
read the
Yeah.
articles. 3 critically endangered red wolf pups have been born in the Triangle. The Museum of Life and Science says its 7-year-old female red wolf, Martha, welcomed the litter May 3rd. The animal care team and veterinary staff confirm all 3 pups are in good health. Fewer than 300 red wolves exist under human care and in the wild. 6:27 now, restaurant reopening. This morning, Big Ed's will be back in business 3 days after shooting on Mother's Day there. How it plans to welcome customers back through its doors.
Then how about this bold break-in? People trying to sell a home in Cary are surprised to see an intruder on their doorbell cam. How they say he was able to get in.
And a beautiful shot from above the clouds as we look over Garner this morning. Pretty sunshine, but a lot of low cloud cover and fog will greet you as you're heading out the door. I'll show you when that will dissipate. And of course, a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, a level 1 risk. I'll show you coming up.